Questions to the Prime Minister. Question number 1, Mr. Roy Hughes.
Number 1, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, this morning I presided at a meeting of the Cabinet and had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall be having further meetings later today.
Mr. Roy Hughes.
In the course of her busy schedule, will the Prime Minister pause to consider the desperately long hospital waiting lists in Gwent, which, combined with the recent Scrooge-like cuts in social security benefits, would seem to illustrate a complete lack of concern for the plight of ordinary people? Could I point out to her, or perhaps she needs an astrologer after all, that it was these sort of factors which led to the virtual extermination of the Conservative Party in Newport at the local elections last Thursday?
Mr. Speaker, well, with regard to the health service, first there have been 2 specific programs directly related to getting down waiting lists, which have been very successful. Second, there have not been cuts in the health service. Indeed, there's nearly £2 billion more allocated to the health service this year than last. And thirdly, there have also been increases in social security. Again, another £2 billion allocated to social security over and above previous years. None of this could have been done unless my right honourable friend the Chancellor had run the economy in such a way as to get a higher standard of living and a higher standard of social services.
Sir Marcus Fox.
Would my right honourable friend take time today to consider the implications of the gains made by the Conservative Party last week on the Bradford Metropolitan District Council? Plus the defection this week of a Labour councillor who has joined us, thus making us the largest group on the council. Is this not a sign that people in the inner cities are looking to us to a better future by controlling government locally and nationally?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I join my honourable friend in congratulating the people of Bradford for their wisdom. The results give Bradford new hope and a new chance, and the prosperity is spreading widely all over the country, including to the Bradford area.
Mr. William Ross.
Number 2, sir.
I refer the honourable gentleman to the reply which I gave some moments ago.
Mr. William Ross.
Does the Prime Minister recall that a few days ago she told the House that she would seek reassurances from the Government of the Irish Republic that they would not back out of their responsibilities in regard to terrorism under the Anglo-Irish Agreement? Does she further recall that she told the House that the people of Northern Ireland would have their rights maintained under the Anglo-Irish Agreement and that the Government of the Irish Republic had accepted that? Did the Right Honourable Friend, the Secretary of State, bring back such assurances after his private meeting with Mr. Hockey last week?
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member has, in fact, I believe, quoted correctly what I said. The Anglo-Irish Agreement was an agreement signed by both governments, an agreement registered with the United Nations, and must, in fact, continue to be upheld. That, I believe, is now understood on both sides of the border.
Mr. Heseltine.
Would my right honourable friend reflect today on the fact that it is 40 years to this very day since a Labour minister announced that Britain would have its own independent atomic deterrent? And would she further reflect upon the remarkable contrast between what now must be seen as the giants of the post-war Labour government and the political and parliamentary pygmies that have replaced them?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker. In those days, there was virtually no difference between 2 sides of the House on the importance of defence and the nuclear deterrent. What a pity there is such a difference now.
Sir David Blunkett.
In view of the government's unwillingness to use the 1975 Industry Act or other powers to intervene to protect round trees from the proposed takeover by Nestles, would the Honourable Lady confirm that she, in fact, is not willing to intervene to protect any industry, service or national asset from international predators, and that it is this side of the House that would protect workers and the people of Britain, and not the Conservative government.
Mr. Speaker, I will confirm what my right honourable friend pointed out yesterday, that when we receive a bid, it has to be dealt with in accordance with the law passed through this House and the results of debates approved by this House. That law is that the opinion of the Office of Fair Trading must be obtained, and that the Secretary of State must wait to receive that opinion before making up his mind as to whether such a bid should be referred to the Monopolies and Mergers Committee. After that has been received, he will decide, and then if he decides to refer it, the matter can be dealt with under competition rules or under public interest. But I hope the honourable member is not suggesting that we can, in fact, disobey the law of the land.
Mr. William McRae.
The Prime Minister take it from me that the vast majority of the people throughout the United Kingdom deplore the unwarranted attacks on the members of the SAS who carried out an effective measure in Gibraltar in defence of the innocent. And will the Prime Minister take it from me that there is rather disgust that there seems to be some members both inside and outside this House who are more concerned about those who are terrorists than the welfare of our security forces?
Mr. Speaker, I join with the honourable gentleman in saying how thankful we are for the excellent services of all members of the security services in protecting us from terrorism.
But Waring.
Number 3, sir.
I refer the honourable gentleman to the reply which I gave some moments ago.
Waring.
Mr. Speaker, following the disclosures yesterday from the National Security Archive in Washington of Colonel Oliver North's memorandums, can the Prime Minister give an assurance to this House, a categorical assurance, that her government has never either directly or indirectly, say via the CIA or her friend Colonel Pinochet in Chile, facilitated the supply of arms to the Contra-terrorists in Nicaragua?
Mr. Speaker, I have given the answer so many times. I will repeat it again. I can say categorically that we have not agreed to supply blowpipe, and we have not supplied blowpipe to the Contras.
Eric Forth.
Has my right honourable friend yet sent her congratulations to the President of France on his re-election? Has my right honourable friend noticed that the leaders of government of two of the great democracies of this world, namely France and the United States, will reach the end of their elected terms of office in their late 70s? Is she determined not to be outdone in this matter?
Mr. Speaker, I have sent a message of congratulations to the President of France. I have spoken to him, and we hope to arrange a meeting before probably the Toronto summit to discuss important matters. I have also noted the matters